everyone. Thank you for watching. I am Shannon and welcome to another one of my installments of Best and Worst Rooms at Walt Disney World series. And we are moving on to the Deluxe resorts, and we are going to start with Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. And that's mainly because it is the flagship resort of Walt Disney World. Now, Grand Floridian opened in June of 1988. And I think if anybody ever watched Full House or pretty much any ABC television series, when they went to Disney World, they stayed at the Grand Floridian. It is definitely the flagship. It is the one that everybody wants to go to during Christmas time, and the monorail. It's the last stop on the monorail before you get to Magic Kingdom, and it is definitely one of my family's favorites. So let's get into some details about the Grand Floridian. Now, getting into the rooms of the Grand Floridian, there are actually 867 rooms. Now, this is the hotel side. So I already did the Grand Floridian villas in a separate video when I did all the original DVC resorts. So I'm not going to be talking about the villas. I'm only talking about the hotel side. So there are 867 rooms, as well as 25 suites, and those suites include the Victorian Suite, the Roy O. Disney Suite, the Walt Disney Suite, and the Grand Suite. I'm not going to be covering the suites in this video because they are obviously going to be the best, and if you have booked a suite, there's probably one location for that suite, and you don't really have to request where you're going to be. So I'm not going to be covering the suites. I'm going to be covering mainly the standard rooms. Now, there are 6 different areas. There is, of course, the main building, and the main building, all the rooms in the main building are considered club level. So there is a concierge, and there is, so any room that you book in the main building does have a club level. So it's considered a club level room. Then there are 5 different areas, and the 5 areas are Sugarloaf, which is the concierge club level in the outer buildings. So that building is considered concierge or club level. And then the other 4 are Sago Cay, Conch Key, Boca Chica, and Big Pine Key. So those are the 4 remaining buildings, and we'll go over those. So I think we'll talk a little bit about the main building, and if you're lucky enough to get into the main building and have concierge whenever it comes back. This is being filmed in February 2021. Right now there is no club level, but it should come back shortly. Fingers crossed. But so we'll talk about the locations of where you can kind of request, but I'm really probably going to focus more on the outer buildings, because that's really, a lot depends on what you are looking for your family. Now, let me talk about the different categories in each of the areas. So in the main building, besides the suites, again, we're not going to be talking about the suites, but besides the suites, you have a deluxe king room, standard room, and a theme park view room. So those are the 3 categories besides suites in the main building, and they are all club level. So just keep that in mind. And then in the outer buildings, you have garden view, lagoon view, theme park view, a 1-bedroom suite, a 2-bedroom suite, a 1-bedroom suite theme park view, or standard room club level access. So again, the standard room club level in the outer buildings is going to be in the Sugarloaf building. So it kind of gives you, but there's a lot of categories at Grand Floridian, and you really want to know what you're booking. Personally, we've stayed here twice, and both times we booked, I think, garden view, standard, outer building. So it will say outer building, standard, whatever you're booking. So keep that in mind. We booked standard, outer building. Now, the one thing I will say with those is that when you go into the main building, you have a king room. But when you are booking for the outer buildings, there is no distinction between a king bed and 2 queen beds. Most rooms have 2 queen beds, but there are a few rooms that have king beds, but there isn't a separate category for that. So there really isn't there's no way to tell. I don't think TouringPlans has been able to keep track of which rooms do have king beds. So if that's a priority for you, that's what you should note on your reservation. That was a definite priority for us when we went. Our son was 2.5. We were going to put him in a pack and play, and we wanted to stay in a king bed if possible because it was just going to allow us to have more room. So I did use TouringPlans. I put all my requests, but at the top I said we would like a king bed room wherever, no matter upon location. That's priority, and we got it. We ended up, I believe it was Sago Cay. I'll talk about that in a second of where we ended up. The location was fantastic. It was not the building I requested, but we did get a king bed, which is exactly what we wanted. We ended up loving the location, and we loved having a king bed. It gave us a lot more space in the room, and with the pack and play for our son. So it was just really great to have that. So just keep that in mind, that if you're a couple and you prefer having a king bed rather than 2 queen beds, that you can request it. It's not guaranteed. And I remember when the bellman took us to our room, he goes, "Oh, you got one of the king bedrooms. These are hard to get." So keep that in mind. They are hard to get, but there isn't a separate category for that. So some resorts have a separate category. Grand Floridian does not. So let's get into making a request and which are the best and worst rooms at the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa.
So as always, we're going to start on the TouringPlans Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. So this is the page dedicated to the hotel side of the resort. And here you can get an overview of the resort as well as the map. And this is going to be what we're going to be looking at in a little bit. But it just talks about how it compares. Obviously, they have some great videos, and I'll post a link below to the TouringPlans YouTube channel. And there's some pictures of the rooms as well. They have a lot of feedback on the Grand Floridian. So here is the typical room, and we'll get into how some of the rooms differ, especially in the main building. And there's some more pictures. Talks about the Grand Floridian concierge level rooms. So all the rooms in the main building, as I mentioned earlier, are club level, and then there is one club level building in the outer buildings. So again, here's just all the information regarding the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. So if you need have any questions, I encourage you to go to this link, and I will post a link below. And now we have the hotel map, and this is for Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. So make sure you get the one for the hotel side and not the DVC villas at Grand Floridian, because they are 2 separate buildings and 2 separate reservation systems. So here is the main building. So this is what it's the grand lobby, where the monorail is. Obviously, this is the monorail right here. And then you'll go out over here. This is Sago Cay. This is actually where my family had stayed at one time. Sugarloaf Cay is pretty central for the outer buildings. This is the concierge or club level outer building. Conch Cay, which is the closest to the water and obviously the closest to the marina. Boca Chica, which gives spectacular views of Magic Kingdom and fireworks when they return. You have Big Pine Cay right here. And those are the outer buildings. Now here is the courtyard pool. So the courtyard pool has a 0 entry, but there's no slide. It's the central, and I guess it was originally the main pool. However, with the building of the DVC villas, they have now the beach pool. And the beach pool also has a 0 entry, but it has a slide. And then this right here is a very nice splash pad. This right here is a little beach area. But this is, so even though I think this is one considered the main pool, it's kind of like having 2 main pools, but this is probably the better pool, especially if you have kids. So that is the overview of Magic Kingdom. Now the walkway is going to be around here. So that walkway that just reopened. So if you wanted to be close to the walkway, you might want to request Sago Cay. So you're going to walk down here and then it's around. Obviously, this is the convention center right here. The bus stop for the non-monorail resort parks are going to be right here. And then the spa and fitness center is right here. This is shared with the Polynesian Resort. So it's over by the DVC villas. And then obviously the wedding pavilion is over here. So there you have it. There is an overview of Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. So we're going to start with the main building. And as I mentioned earlier, there are 3 category of regular rooms. So we're not going to go into too much detail of the 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, suites, because there's just limited availability. And if you're booking those suites, you're going to end up in a good location. But the 3 categories are the standard room club level, the theme park view club level, and then the deluxe king room. So now we're going to start with the standard, and you'll see it says standard main building 2 queens. There are actually 2 rooms that have king beds, but we're not going, those are probably ones you don't want to request, and I'll tell you why. So first of all, it starts us all on the 5th floor. You can see there's 1 room right here. It's kind of in the middle. And then this is where all the suites are. So if you're in this room, you're going to be near all the high rollers, I guess you could say. But you're going to go to the 4th floor. And if you would, personally, I would try and request the 4th floor, because if you're on the 4th floor, you're going to be closest to the concierge and club level. It's technically 3 floors. It's the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th floor. But the 4th floor is where all the amenities are. All the food, the snacks, the drinks, everything that you want. There's seating on the 3rd and 5th floor, but all the amenities are going to be on the 4th floor. So personally, if you're paying for club level, I would want easy access as quickly as possible. So the 4th floor is where I would personally want to be. And then I think personally I would want to be on this side right here, just because I think this view over here, looking over, you have the monorail, you have the beach pool, you have the splash pad, you have the Polynesian. Now obviously you're not going to get any fireworks, but I think that's just a spectacular view. One of the things I will also show you is this room right here. So this is the 4th floor. This is 4429. And there's also one on the 3rd floor. And that is going to be 4329. Now, these rooms you don't necessarily want to recommend. These are standard concierge king bed rooms, and they're 2 corner rooms, and they're smaller than usual with only enough room for the bed, 1 chair, and an armoire. So if you request a king bed and you're thinking, oh, we're going to get extra space, you're not, because it's a lot smaller. I've seen some feedback on these rooms where they requested the king bedroom thinking they were getting extra space, and they ended up with less space. So I would say I would put these in the category of probably the worst rooms, especially at club level, because you want that extra space. Now over here, you do have a good view of the actual resort as well. Not the best picture, but maybe this one. Yeah, this one's better. But I personally still prefer the view of the beach pool as well as Polynesian. Again, neither, you may be able to see some fireworks if once they restart, but probably not much. So again, I think if you're going to be doing a standard room, the key is to avoid these 4329 and 4429. And as you can see, there's none of these rooms on the 2nd floor. So they're mainly on the 3rd and 4th floor. And then you can see there's one on the 5th floor. Okay, now we're going to move over to the theme park view. And here it's going to say Magic Kingdom main building, 2 queen beds and show matching rooms. And there we go. Obviously it's in the main building. And these are all on this row right here. And they are on the 3rd and the 4th floor. And really, I don't think you can go wrong with any one of them. I think they're all going to have spectacular views. But I would recommend being on the 4th floor, just because you're going to have easy access to the club level over here. But if you want to take a look, let's see, it's going to be, let's see if we can get a room. There we go. So look at that view. I mean, you have a beautiful view of the marina. There's Cinderella Castle in the background. And this person says the castle appears much larger to the naked eye than it looks in photos from the balcony. Highly recommend this room. So, and this is 4404. And this one's pretty, almost at center. So 4404, I think anyone in this row, you're not going to be disappointed. I would just say if you are in a theme park view room, I would try to get on the 4th floor. I wouldn't worry about location, just be on the 4th floor. Now, TouringPlans does have a category called Garden Deluxe Main Building. Now, I'm just going to click on this really quick, but I did not see this on the Disney website that was bookable. I changed a couple different dates and I never got this as a category, but I'm going to go over it really quick. There's 6 of these rooms and there's 3 on the 3rd floor. And then let's look at the 4th floor. Again, if you happen to book this category, I would say try and get on the 4th floor. And then I would request one of these 2 rooms. They seem to be a little bit larger and then you can see right here. So there was a really good picture. Let's go down to the 3rd floor. And this room had a really good picture. So this would be the room that I would recommend. But again, I'm not sure about too much about this category because I didn't see it on Disney, and that's the Garden Deluxe main building 2 queen beds. And the last room in the main building is going to be the Deluxe King bed. And this one's a little bit tricky. So we're going to get it right here. So here we go. We're going to start on the 5th floor, and you see these 2 really large rooms right here. And then we'll go down to the 4th floor. And those same 2 rooms are right there. And then the 3rd floor, same 2. And then we're going to go to the 2nd floor. Now, here you go. Here are the king rooms. Now, these are going to have the view of Magic Kingdom and Cinderella's castle and that spectacular view. You're obviously on the 2nd floor, so you're a little bit lower. But there is somebody put here. This is a gorgeous room. I'm a very light sleeper and noise wasn't a problem. The lounge isn't very accessible as you have to use the elevator bank and they are a little slow. So keep that in mind. The 2nd floor, from the 3rd floor and the 5th floor, there's a staircase, but there's no staircase from the 2nd floor. So you have to take the elevator to the 4th floor to get to the concierge level. So even though this has a beautiful balcony overlooking Magic Kingdom, personally, I would recommend going to the 4th floor and one of these 2 rooms. Now, these 2 rooms, these are 648 square feet, and they offer a 4-poster bed, bay window sitting area with sofa and easy chair, entertainment armoire, wet bar, small walk-in closet, and an oversized tub. However, it doesn't have a balcony and only offer a semi-view of the castle. So these are 648 square feet as opposed to these, which are 440 square feet. So even though you're giving up the balcony and that view of Magic Kingdom, I personally would want the more space. This would be the room I would recommend just because you're on the corner. You could possibly get a view of the fireworks at night. But again, this one of these 2 rooms would be the ideal. You'd have easy access to the concierge level. You'd have a larger room, no balcony, but I'm not much of a balcony person anyway. But however, if you do book one of these rooms and you want that view of Magic Kingdom, then you'll want to have one of these. Obviously, it's going to be a spectacular view, but just know that you're going to have to use these elevators right here to get up to the concierge level. And as that person stated, they can sometimes be a little slow. And as I stated earlier, the suites are going to be on the 5th floor. So go ahead and we'll show matching rooms. And this is the 1 bedroom. So these are the 1 bedrooms, but these are the main suites. I believe this is the Walt Disney suite. So most of the suites are going to be on the 5th floor. I'm not going to go over them as room locations because there's just not that many. And again, you're just most likely not going to have a bad view if you're booking a suite. Okay, so we're going to continue on to the outer buildings, but now we're going to still talk about those rooms that have club level access because there is a club level access in the Sugarloaf Key building. And if you see here, I have plugged in Garden Outer Building 1 bedroom. So each of these buildings, and actually Sugarloaf 2, have a 1 and a 2 bedroom, and any of those 1 bedrooms, those suites have club level access. Obviously, for any of these, you actually can access the main building, club level, or the one at Sugarloaf Key. Obviously, Sugarloaf Key is probably the most convenient unless you're in Sago Key. Could be either or, but Sugarloaf Key is probably the easiest and most convenient, but you have that option. So I think it just depends on which building you may want to be in as far as location. Obviously, some of these are going to go over these. Some of these are categorized separately as a theme park view. But personally, if I were in a 1 or 2 bedroom, I would try and request the room in Sugarloaf Key. If you go, I believe it is on the 4th floor. It's at the top floor. So this right here is the 1 bedroom. This is the 2 bedroom. So if I booked a 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom outer building, I would try and get into Sugarloaf Key just because it would be the most convenient to the concierge and club level. Okay, and as I mentioned, there is a Magic Kingdom. You can see Magic Kingdom outer building 1 bedroom, and you will show you right here. Those are each going to be in Conch Key and Sago Key. So I think between these two, you're just going to have to decide, do you want to be closer to the main building or do you want to be closer to the marina? Personally, I think I'd probably want to choose Conch Key because that's just going to give you the best view. If you look right here, it's right on the corner. This is obviously the ground floor. I mean, you're really close to the marina. You've got, you're just so close to Magic Kingdom. So that's very convenient, but I think either or wouldn't be bad. Personally, I would request Conch Key first floor, but I would prefer to be on the first floor in Sago Key rather than be on the 3rd floor in Conch Key. So I'd rather ground floor takes precedence for us because we prefer ground floor rooms rather than the location. But I think either one of these are going to be great, but I prefer being close to the marina. And you also go look at, for the second 2 bedroom, it's going to be the same 2 buildings. So you click right here, Conch Key, and this is on the first floor as well, and very, very close to the marina. So again, it's just a personal preference on what you prefer. So now we're going to move on to the standard club level room and on the outer building, and that's of course in Sugarloaf Building. And here we go. It's already ready. And here, as you can see, most of the building is the these standard rooms. That's the first floor. Let's go to the top floor. And then there you see, obviously, this is going to be a 1 bedroom. This is a 2 bedroom. And we'll go to the 3rd floor. And it's going to take a little bit. My computer's being a little slow. Okay, there you go. So the one thing to keep in mind here is that the ground floor level is the hospitality area. So just keep that in mind. So I would personally prefer to be maybe around the end. So maybe not the last room, but maybe the second to last room. And personally, this right here is the marina. So this would be the main building over here. So if I were trying to get a room, I would possibly want to be here because of course it's a ground floor room. You have the marina right here, and then right over here would be the Gasparilla Grill. So very convenient to the main lobby. If I wanted to walk to Magic Kingdom, I would just go out this way. So very, very convenient. And then also you probably wouldn't have, it wouldn't be too loud with the hospitality area, but then also you would just literally walk out your room and you could go and get coffee and get all the amenities that you want. So, or wine in the evenings. So very, very convenient. Now there is something to note. So let's go up to the 2nd floor. And if you see the 2nd floor, see this room right here, and this is 6220, so the 20 line. This room is larger. Now there really wasn't any information on this, but I did confirm with Lantesta, and he did say that these rooms are bigger. They have a bay window area, and they are, just as they appear, they are significantly larger than the regular room. So as you can see, they're probably a good 20%, at least 15 or 20% larger than the rest of the rooms. This is basically a bay window, and they're larger. So there you see on the 2nd floor, you see the 3rd floor, there it is again. And then the 4th floor, I don't think, there's one on the 4th floor. So there's 3 of these rooms. So even though we prefer to be on the ground floor, I absolutely would request a room in one of these. If I was paying for a club level, even a standard room, I would absolutely request one of these rooms because it's just going to be great to have a larger size room. So that's going to be the room below. So let's go down to the 3rd floor and take a look at it. So I would absolutely request one of these rooms. I mean, it's got a beautiful view of the courtyard pool. I mean, look at it at night, gorgeous view. And then just to have a bigger room. I'm always of the person that I'd rather have a bigger room and bigger space. That's going to trump having a ground floor room. So I would request one of these 20 lines. So it would be 6220, 6320, or 6420. And then in the notation, when you fill out your room request form, in the notes, I would put If the 20 line is not available, then a ground floor room facing the marina is what I would put. So again, it just depends on what you want to face. If you don't want to get that room, or as an alternative, do you want to face the marina? Do you want to face the pool? Do you want to be closer to the main lobby? Do you want to be closer to the water or to the marina for the friendship boat? And then also I would note that you don't want to be the last room on the row, because sometimes with these doors, they can get very loud. This is such a small building. I don't think that's going to be an issue, but just in case, I would try to avoid these end rooms. But that's it. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the outer building's non-club level rooms. So there's 3 categories, as I mentioned before, and those are garden view, lagoon view, and theme park view. So we're going to start with garden view, but before we start, I did want to explain that when you book a room, there is no category for 2 queen beds or a king. We actually booked a garden view outer building, and it says 2 queen beds or 1 king bed. So when I did our touring plans, I requested a big pine key, but I did note that above all, I wanted a room with a king bed if possible. Our son was still young and he was still sleeping in a pack and play. So we were able to get that, and we got a room over in Sago Key. We actually loved this building. It was great. We were right on the marina and it was a great location. And I remember the bellman saying when he took us, he goes, "Oh, you got one of the king rooms. These are highly coveted." So it was really nice to have it. It did open up the room. The room was the same size, but because there was only 1 bed, it just made the room feel a lot bigger. So if you do want a king room and you have booked one of the outer buildings, regular either garden, lagoon, or theme park, I would, and you just have to decide what's more important, having a king bed or having a better view. And that's what you're going to make sure you note on your room request. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the garden view. And as you can see, it's basically all 4 of the outer buildings. So we're going to start over here and let's talk about some rooms to avoid. So here's a room to avoid right here. You're right in the corner, but as you can see, this building is right here. So you're going to be facing the building. You can kind of see right there also, that kind of shows you what's at the end of each building. You've got a staircase and you've got an entryway into each building. So each building has exit and entryways into the building. So that gives you a view, but that's not a really nice view. That's not something you want to look. I mean, you're at Grand Floridian, but still. So, but then if you move over to this side, get a beautiful view of the pool. Now this could get a little loud, but still a beautiful view. So that is a garden view over at, I think we said it was Big Pine Key. So those, I would just say, if you're going to be booking Big Pine Key, or you want to do Big Pine Key, then I would just say make sure you request a room on this side and make sure you put that you don't want to be on this side. So let's go over to Boca Chica. And then Boca Chica, obviously, this is the lagoon. So these are going to be theme park view. But then you have these right here, and you have, beautiful views right here of the pool. A little further away, but you can literally just walk outside and go to the pool. Very, very convenient. And this gives you a little bit of the lagoon side. That doesn't seem like right. So here, obviously, you have not as good as the other side. So maybe you want to be down the other side, but I think this room right here, that's a wrong picture. That's probably the wrong side. So keep that in mind. So don't book that room on that, or don't request that room on that picture, because I think that might be misplaced. But on the end, yeah. So you probably want to avoid this side over here because you have that building. Not as horrible as the other one, but if you're going to be in Boca Chica, you probably want to be around this area right here. And then unless you're going to be on a higher floor. Now let's go back and we're going to move over to, we're going to move to Conky. And see, obviously you have a little bit, you have some lagoon views here. And then Conky has this large room right here. So that's going to be the 106 line. Let's go up to 2nd floor. And let's go up to 3rd floor. Now I don't know what these are categorized, But I would request, now this one it says it's a Garden Deluxe outer building, so I think it's just not coded right. So I think this O6 line is going to be that bigger room. So this would be considered one of those best rooms in that garden view category because you're going to have that larger room. And let's go down to the ground floor. So for us, we obviously would want to be on the ground floor. So we would request 7106. I don't see any really bad views here. Obviously, this is a beautiful view. You're at the end of the resort. And let's look over here. So again, you've got a partial lagoon view at the garden view price. So that's really nice. So these outer buildings are probably going to give you a better view just because it's a little further out than these. So that's, let's go back. And that was Conky. And now we're going to go to Sago Cay. And Sago Cay was that building that I was in. And one of the things, in general, the southwest facing rooms here are more interesting. And you want to avoid the northwest facing rooms in Sago Cay because those views can include only a tiny bit of the marina and have a lot of the monorail. So I believe that's going to be over here. And, well, that's not that's going to be Gasparilla Grill. And let's see over here. Probably on this side over here. So 5102, yeah. So you have a lot of the monorail. You've got the lagoon, very, very little, not much of a view. So you want to avoid this northwest side. Now, if you go to the southwest side, which is over here, you've got a beautiful view of the lagoon, beautiful view of the monorail. So it definitely makes a difference being on that side. So when requesting, I would, if you want to be on this side and have a lagoon view at that garden view price, then you would want to request being on the southwest side of the building. Now, personally, we were on the marina side. So we were, I want to say we were probably around here. Let's see if that was my picture. Yep, this is my picture. And there you go. Great room. This is actually a king bedroom. Didn't want this building, but ended up loving it. And we did. You can see, obviously, it was very, very convenient. Obviously, again, we were on the first floor. You had the marina right there. It was pretty close to the entryway. And then now the only thing is, and I'll show you right now, when we came back from Magic Kingdom, we had the boat from Magic Kingdom. We came back on the Friendship boat and we had to walk all the way around. It wasn't too bad, but it was right after Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. I think we had a 3-year-old at the time, a very tired 3-year-old. And, you know, it would have been nicer to be in one of these buildings, but it wasn't horrible. But we did have quite of a long walk because we had to walk all the way around. And the entry to the building is right around here. But again, it was a great location. If you want that king room, know that 5131 is a king room in Sago Cay. But again, I really did like this. I like this building. I probably would request this room again or on the southwest side, but I would probably request the this side right here, the east side, and probably closer to the marina just because I would want to avoid to be on this side. But again, you have Gasparilla Grill and the marina's right here, very, very close to the main building. You'll be very, very close to the walkway to Magic Kingdom. So it's a pretty convenient building in some aspects because you're closer to the walkway, you're close to the main building. However, you are further away from the boat to Magic Kingdom. So there you have it. Those are some recommendations for Garden View. There's a couple best rooms, a couple worst rooms over here to avoid, but all in all, there's really not a bad room, just some better and some worse. So now we're going to move to the Lagoon queen bed, 2 queen beds. And this is, again, same thing. There's 2 queen beds. There's king beds. you have to decide what's more important, requesting a king bed or the location. It all depends on what you want. But let's just focus on the certain locations. So there are some hidden gems in the Lagoon view. So basically the other two views are Lagoon view and theme park view. And this is where you can really get value in booking a Lagoon view and requesting one of those rooms that may have a partial theme park view. And that is because if you book, let's say, a room that's maybe on this side, all you have to do is kind of walk out on your balcony and turn your head to the left, and there's the Magic Kingdom. But it's technically a Lagoon view because if you look outside your window straight on, you can't see Magic Kingdom. So they don't classify it as a theme park view, but all you have to do is basically walk out and turn your head. So let's look at, first off, let's look at Boca Chica, because I think Boca Chica is where you're going to get those values. So let's look at here. So this one right here is at the end. And there you go. So there's the contemporary. So if you walk out, so this is 8145. So this is going to be the same on the whole level. You've got a beautiful Lagoon view. And if you walk out, the Magic Kingdom's going to be here. So basically all you have to do is look left. Okay, so the 45 line. And let's go up. Let's go up to the fourth floor. And we'll go up to the fourth floor. So here we have, okay, a lot of room. So let's look right here. Well, that's not our view. Let's see if there's one here. There we go. So obviously here you have an enclosed balcony. So that's something to consider. I'm not a big fan of these enclosed balconies because they do make the room pretty dark, but some people prefer them. If you have little ones, these I do feel are a little bit safer. But as you can see, you have the monorail and you can really see if you walk out, there's the castle. So that means you're going to be able to see the fireworks. You just got to look out a little bit. So 8441 is a really good one. So again, all of these are going to be Lagoon view. I would, this one is going to come out a little bit. So if it were me, I would request 8421 or the 21 line because it's going to come out. That means the balcony is going to come out a little. And all you do is look, turn your head left, and there's the castle, there's Space Mountain, and that means you're going to be able to see the fireworks. Now, are you going to have that straight on view of the theme park? No, but you're also going to have an invoice that's going to be charging you for a Lagoon view and not a theme park view. So let's go back and let's go look at Conch Key now. So Conch Key, so obviously these are going to be theme park view. And again, it's going to be the same. You're going to run a request this line right here because it sticks a little bit out. And now you've got a beautiful view of the marina and you've got the monorail. But if you're going to have to turn your head right this time, you're going to have a view. So that's the 13 line. So let's look over, let's go to the fourth floor. And again, 13 line. And there you go. So again, if you probably just turn your head because this room is going to come out a little bit, you'll probably have a theme park view. You might have to stretch your neck a little bit, but you'll have it. And then even so, let's say you're on the ground floor. Let's say you're on the first floor and you want to watch the fireworks. You're in any of these rooms and you can't see the fireworks from there. Just walk out and sit right there, and then you got the fireworks. So these are very convenient because they're just right there. The fireworks are going to be right outside your door if you can't see them from your balcony. But if you have that Lagoon view and you want that view of the fireworks, I would try and get into Boca Chica. I think that's where you would want to be if you're trying to see the fireworks. Now again, Sago Key right here. You're going to have these end rooms. They're going to have the Lagoon. Now would be where I would like to be. You got the Lagoon, you got the monorail. You'll probably see the boats coming in for the electrical water parade at night. So I guess for the best rooms for the Lagoon view are probably going to be in Boca Chica, with Conch Key and Big Pine Key being, a close second for both. And now we're at the theme park view outer building. Again, same thing goes with 2 bedrooms, 1 king. If you want a king bed, just decide if that's more important. But let's go look. Okay, personally, if I were going to pick it, I would pick Conch Key. It's the closest to the marina. You've got these 2 rooms right here. This is, look, there's the friendship boats right there. You don't get better. There's the castle. You don't get better than that. Just beautiful. Obviously, those are right next to the suites. Now let's go. That's going to be the ground floor. So obviously, I like ground floors. Those are going to be, but you're going to walk out right here and there's the marina. Doesn't get better than that. So let's go up to the 4th floor. Again, here we go. And I mean, look at that. Look at that view. I mean, that's what you're paying the money for. That's why you're paying to stay at Grand Floridian and paying for that theme park view for this. So I think with theme park view, you're not going to have a bad view. But if I was paying for theme park view, I personally would try to get into Conch Key. And here I might request a higher floor, because if you're paying for theme park view, you probably do want a higher floor. Let's see the 5th floor, what they have. Yes, the 5th floor is the highest you're going to go on this level is going to be 4th floor. But let's go back. Another option would be Boca Chica. And so here we go. Now these, I don't think I would want to be in Boca Chica if I was paying for a theme park view. Let's see over here. So this one's pretty good because this is on the end. So you have, go back, and that's going to be over here. But again, I think Conch Key is going to give you that direct view of Magic Kingdom. These are going to have to maybe turn your head a little bit. Now let's look at Boca Chica. Now Boca Chica is obviously going to get you a better room. Let's go back up to the 4th floor, because if you're paying for theme park, that's what you want. And there you go. Oh, so we were at Boca Chica. So that's the one we were looking at. Sorry, I got the names mixed up. So Boca Chica, I would want to request one of these 3 rooms right here. And let's go to Big Pine Key then. So Big Pine Key, this whole row right here is going to be theme park. But again, you've got trees. They're kind of blocking it. So I don't know if this would be a room that I would request. Now, Len did say that room 9327, and let me see which one that is. It's hard. Okay. Let's see. There we go. Here we go. So these rooms over here are considered Lagoon view, but they would have a view. So some of these right here would be another ones that would have that partial access. But again, all of these on the end. But if you're paying for the theme park view, I think the best is going to be Conch Key, Boca Chica, then Big Pine Key. Sago Key would also be a good alternative, but there's not as many because I believe there's a lot of suites. So there you go. But let's go up to the 4th floor and all this rows. So this would also be a very good location as well. However, the thing with this location is you're just a far walk from everything. So this would be my personal last choice, because you're pretty, not too far from the main building, but you're a good walk. You're a really far walk from the boat lift, the boat launch. You got a long walk right there. You're far from the pools. So you're pretty far from everything. I mean, obviously you've got that view, but that would be the least place I'd want to be. I'd probably want to be in Conch Key. So if I was paying for a theme park view, my recommendation for best rooms would be Conch Key. There are no worst rooms, but I would say the least desirable are going to be in Sago Key. So now I'm going to make a request for our room, and I'm going to pretend that we have booked a theme park view outer building, which is the last category we just talked about, and I am going to request a room in Conch Key. Obviously, we like being on the ground floor, so I want to be in one of these rooms, but we're going to request on the 4th floor this time, just because we're paying for that theme park view. We want a really nice theme park view. So we're going to go over to 7426. There's that beautiful view. And then look at that. Wow, what amazing view. So it's going to say, click here to make a request. And we are requesting 7426. And there we go. Let's see, click it. And I'm going to, so now it says, requesting room 7426, and we're going to configure room request. So there it is. I'll put in my information, and it's going to say, I'm going to put preference is Conch Key, and then second is Boca Chica. And then third is Big Pine Key. So there we go. So now they know let's put 1. I like bullet points. Whoops. That's an explanation point. That's why I don't try to do this at the same time. But I would put, there we go. So now they know what my preference is. I want Conch first, Boca Chica second, Big Pine Key third. And then you just save. And then this, make sure you put in your reservation number. I don't have a reservation. I'm not staying there. So I don't have anything to include, but make sure you put your reservation number and then the first person that's on the reservation. That's the most important. The first person that's named. So if it's your name or your husband's name or your wife's name, make sure you put that person's name on the configure room request. Right here, your reservation number, and then they will fax this, or actually they will email it to Disney 30 days before. And a lot of people have asked me, well, I just do the online check-in for my Disney experience. My experience is they are going to see these first and assign these rooms first before they ever get to the online check-in or my Disney experience room requests. And those room requests are so limited. It's like ground floor, high floor, near elevator. And I think I've even heard that they've eliminated that. Personally, we do online check-in, but we don't put any request through my Disney experience or the online check-in. We do everything through here, and we've been very, very, very successful. Everyone I have seen people say, I used your tool, but I just did it through my Disney experience. I didn't get what I requested. That's because you didn't use TouringPlans. So use TouringPlans to get your room request. Using the online check-in, you're basically getting what's left over from the people that did use TouringPlans. So there you have it. Those are my best and worst rooms.
So there you have it. Those are, everything you need to know about making a request at the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. Just keep in mind to always list your priorities, what it is that you're looking for. What is, like I said, I always put it in bullet points. What's my first priority, so that the room assigner, if the room that I request is not available, he or she knows exactly what I am looking for. So with that, if you like this video, click like, click and subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. And I will be continuing on this series with the Contemporary Resort, which is going to be tricky because I've never actually stayed there. And if I thought there was a lot of categories in the Grand Floridian, there are a lot of room categories in the Contemporary. So with that, I will see you real soon, everyone.